So today we interviewed Tara. She's going to be our teacher for the Tantra workshop. So first I want to ask you if you can introduce yourself and ask about your background. So what you were doing before Tantra and what made you do this change in your life to start practicing Tantra and giving workshops and helping people with Tantra.
So my name's Tara, and I came from a very different background. For 17 years I was a marine biologist and had a degree, an honours degree, a PhD, so I was working kind of at the top of my field. And since I'm now 44, but since I was 21 I was looking for something more in life that answered all of my questions. And I had 10 years on and off in India that I was looking for that answer, and it gave me part of the answer but not the whole. And when I met Tantra, it answered all of my questions, and my body was like, oh, this is what I've been looking for my whole life, and it makes so much sense to me. So and I just dived into the teachings, into workshops, retreats, anything I could get my hands on. And then after 2 years, it had changed my life so much that my old life as a marine scientist and consultant started to not make me feel as alive and joyful anymore. And so I took that leap of faith that was really, really scary, but so glad I did it, and just followed what my heart's calling was, which was Tantra, and to help share this work with other people because it had impacted my life so much. So that was 5 years ago, and here I am in Bali, living the dream, so they say.
That's amazing. So what you will say to someone that is not happy with their life and they're scared to take next step or to change completely direction, because you went from, marine science to Tantra. So what you will say to someone that wants to do a change in their life but they're scared of don't have a secure job and they feel it's too risky.
So for anyone who isn't happy, doesn't feel fulfilled in life, firstly I would say life is way too short to not follow your dreams and take risks. And essentially, to get from where you are to where you want to be, you have to move through the zone of uncomfortability. There's no way around it. There's no magic pill. And that means feeling the fears. They're all fair enough. Feeling the uncomfortability, feeling the doubt, and getting real with that, but actually moving that through the body so it expels from the body, so that you can then choose a higher vibrational frequency or a higher vibrational belief or thought patterns. So it's by going into the fear that then, once that's cleared, then we can reprogram and build ourselves up and give ourselves the confidence to follow our dreams. And that does a few things. One, it gives us the inspiration to follow our dreams. But two, if you just look at quantum physics, it's the energy that we're radiating and the beliefs that we're holding get reciprocated in the external world. So if we're believing it's never going to work, I'm never going to have enough money, then that's what we're going to reciprocate. That's what we're going to receive. So we need to work with both the debilitating beliefs and then the positive beliefs, and then it's just taking that leap of faith and keep doing the inner work to clearing your emotional body so that you can keep attracting more positive things.
Thank you very much for your advice. I think people really appreciate it, and I think since COVID many people just started thinking I'm not happy with my life, I want to change it and feel it in clients, so it really helps to see how others did it and take next step. Okay, so tell us more about Tantra. Which are the benefits for interpersonal and intrapersonal relationships, and also if you can explain a little bit more, because I think Tantra, a lot of people think that Tantra is just about sex and they misunderstand the whole concept. So yeah, we can ask if you can explain us a little bit more what's the core of Tantra.
Sure. So Tantra essentially means to weave with all of life. And what that means is that we're not resisting our pain and we're not attaching to pleasure. So it's one of the only traditions that includes sexuality, which is why it gets this unbalanced view that it's only about sex. But when you think about it, sex is the act, and sexual energy is the energy that created you, created me, created everyone on this planet, and there is nothing more sacred than manifesting new life and holding a newborn baby in your arms. But unfortunately, that's being shamed across the planet, and so sexuality is very unconscious on the planet. And our main forms of education are pornography, which is an over-exaggeration of sex, and then religion, which is abstinence and saying it's bad and it's sinful. So Tantra is this beautiful opportunity to see how lovemaking actually is a healing modality. And when it's not just focused on the animal, but it includes the animal and also includes the heart, and then also includes consciousness and connection to universal energy, spirit, whatever you want to call it, then it becomes a whole being experience between oneself and a beloved. So that's one half of Tantra that we call sacred union, which is between two people merging. There's all types of tools and techniques and practices for that to bring in more of those like energetics in the bedroom. The other half of Tantra, which is the foundation, is what happens outside the bedroom. And this is inner union. And the foundation of this is that we each have masculine and feminine energies, regardless of we're in a male body or a female body. And when we spend as much time cultivating our inner union and our inner relationship as we do in all the external relationships with partners, friends, parents, colleagues, strangers, and all of the dramas that we can get caught in, when we bring that energy back to ourselves and we actually cultivate this wholeness between our inner masculine and feminine, our lives completely transform. And that happiness that we're all seeking in life, that we keep putting onto other people, going, you make me happy, you make me happy, you make me feel safe, you make me feel joyful, you make me feel validated, you make me feel special. We bring that all back into ourselves. And we learn how to give that to ourselves through beautiful practices, through meditations, through embodiment. And, you know, the original thing of not resisting pain and not attaching to pleasure is the foundation of it all. So Tantra is really about how to process pain, because pain is a part of life. We cannot get away from pain. There is no pill, there is no shortcut to get rid of our pain. Suffering is optional, depending on how we treat our pain. And the other side of pain is pleasure, so they're always going to come together. So Tantra really is about how to work with both as pathways to our awakening and to our wholeness.
Wow. No words right now. Thank you very much for sharing that. Amazing. Yeah, I was like, I don't have more questions. Yeah, so I think you replied to everything.
I have to join the class, I feel like.
Yeah.
I have to join the class.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It changed my life completely.
Yeah, this is one of the last questions, on how Tantra helped, especially in your life.
So pre-Tantra, I was one of those needy women who was very mean and cruel to the masculine if I didn't get what I needed, right? Demanding, shaming, blaming, complaining. And I was addicted to alcohol, I was addicted to painkillers, on and off depression, chronic pain for 17 years. So I had my shit going on. And then I found Tantra, and it was like, hey, don't avoid any of that. Actually go into that, breathe into that pain, breathe into the addiction, and actually let that flush from the nervous system to see what's actually underneath that and what it's showing us. Because pain is telling us that something isn't in alignment in our lives. And my relationship, we were completely incompatible, but I kept like trying to fix it and trying to be a better person, and then beating up on myself if I wasn't. And the same with addictions. I was like overworking, stressed out. I was way too in my masculine and didn't have embodied feminine energy. So then in came Tantra, which is a feminine path to awakening that's applicable to men and women and is needed on the planet in a huge way. And, you know, majority of my insecurities and my debilitating beliefs and my sabotaging patterns I started to work with and I started to look at. And so this whole thing of self-love that, is in all the spiritual books became embodied, not through the mind, not through reading a book, not through psychology, but actually by going into my body, clearing what isn't love, and then bringing in all of the missing pieces of myself and really giving them love and giving them the attention and listening to what they needed. So now my life is very much about honoring what I need, respecting myself, and being able to set healthy boundaries if I'm not met with that love and respect. And I'm the happiest I have ever been in my life, hands down. I have the most beautiful relationship, which isn't perfect, but it's the imperfection which gives us the opportunities to say, hey, I'm feeling sad. What I need right now is more quality time together without phones, without talking about work. And that will make me feel really connected and loved. And so, yeah, Tantra's just brought me to this space of like respecting myself. And then always, because I'm loving myself, always risking losing love because I know what my worth is. And every time my beautiful beloved steps up. And so we grow and we support each other to grow. And he does the same to me. And then that all translates into the bedroom. And when a woman's heart is happy and open outside the bedroom, then her sexuality opens inside the bedroom. So having great sex is another definite improvement in my life.
Everyone should do Tantra workshop. Can't wait to join. Okay, so the final question, it will be why someone should visit Bali at least once in life. And what makes you stay and what you like about living here in Bali?
Bali for me is like I've traveled the world and it's just the most nurturing. The people are so humble, it's vibrant, it's alive, there's nature, and I just love the culture and tradition. And it's a very, very special place where I think people come and they're held in this beautiful mother energy of the lushness of Bali and the fertility of the land of Bali, that there's this safe, nurturing space to do the inner work and to heal. And it's in the community, and the Balinese people really understand that. It's a part of their culture in a way as well. And so there's a beautiful conscious community here that I think is really supportive of that journey, and a lot of digital nomads here, like pretty much all of us.
Yeah.
And that's really supportive of our journey. So a lot of networking and opportunities and just high vibe people to be around.
Yeah, and I feel like there's this energy that we don't know how to explain when we feel it. Like even if you don't want to do the work, Bali pushes you to do the work. You know? And me, for example, was very close. And like I arrived in January, and Bali was like,
yeah.
Now you do your work. I was like, no. It's like, yes. So even if you try to avoid it, Bali catches you.
Bali really does. She's got our best interests at heart.
Okay, Tara, thank you very much for your time.
Darling.
Can't wait to have you in the retreat.
Me too.
September.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, and I wish you the best in your next workshop.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well done.